Hello, my name is Chuck Miller from Oracle, and I want to share with you the Enterprise Command Center for eAM today. Very often get questions from customers saying, how do I start my day? Where do I access the system? I don't want to go through a ton of transactions to find out information, and I want to get information from the data that I have. Well, Enterprise Command Centers are our solution for that. They're available with the eBusiness Suite, and we're going to go through the one for Enterprise Asset Management, which is eAM. This is my safe harbor statement coming up. And to start with, we're going to take a look at the asset dashboard. And you'll see right off the bat that I have metrics running around the top of the screen here, talking about my organizations, departments, assets, my compliance, all that type of stuff. And you'll see graphs. Now, these are configurable by you. So you have the ability to add and delete things that are important to you. As I scroll down, you'll see that I can hone in on my assets, and that's really where we're going to start when I take a look at assets. Scroll down the screen, and you'll see that I have my asset categories and my criticality within each department of my assets. I also display my assets below the screen, and it indicates what organization they're in. And from this screen, I could update the asset, create a work order, create a work request. Now, what I've done too on this screen is I've selected some refinements, namely my organization and my asset, to show you that, number one, the metrics are going to change across the top of the screen based on the choices that I've made, but also the graphs associated with this screen change too, based on the selection criteria I have made. And as I scroll down, you'll see that my work orders now are just pertaining to this one asset that I had selected in my previous screen. I'm going to get rid of those refinements and go back to the standard set so you can see some of the information. Now I've highlighted PM compliance. So what I'm looking at is compliance by my particular asset group, and I see how I'm doing there, but also any PM delays by specific reason codes. So I see that data is all captured for me on this screen. Moving along, and I can drill down into any one of these so I desire. This is more than just pretty pictures, and we'll see examples of drill downs in a few minutes. I can also take a look at my failure analysis, and what I'm looking over here on the left is mean time between failures by asset group, but also mean time to repair in hours. Now remember, the metrics change as I go through this and make selections, so I can hone in on individual assets that are causing me problems. This is drillable. And remember what I said, that this is also configurable by you in your own installation. I'm taking a look now at the asset downtime, and I'm seeing individual asset groups and seeing what my downtime is, whether that's downtime based on preventative maintenance or downtime for other reasons, such as break fix, machine breaks down, whatever the case may be. Moving along, I can also look at my asset costs associated with this, my total cost by group, but also cost by period and by year. Looking at work order costs, but also preventative costs. Now I can lump all these together, or I can break these down into individual categories. Moving along on this screen, I'm drilling into work orders now. So I've scrolled down a little bit and I'm highlighting the work orders, and I see all the work orders that I have in this particular organization. Now I have the ability, as I indicated, I can drill down. I have the ability to drill down into these work orders to do any kind of update that I may need. So I simply select update. It brings me back to the core data that supports this. And I can do all my work order tasks and functions associated with this. If I wanted to charge time, uh, issue materials, complete the work order, cancel the work order, whatever the case may be, I can do this. So it's still another access point into work orders. Speaking of work orders, I'm switching gears a little bit. Now I'm going into the open work orders dashboard, and I see my metrics again across the top of the screen, and I have different types of work orders that are being displayed in here, but also different statuses associated with these. Now, in the interest of not showing every piece of data that I have in the system, I've put a selection criteria on here for a start date horizon of 21 days. Scrolling down on the screen, I see that I have a number of my work orders that are in that horizon, but I also have work orders that have alerts associated with them. Well, if 4 work orders have alerts on them, I bet more work orders have alerts. So I'm going to go back up to my scroll up a little bit and select alerts. And then I see the reason for work order alerts that I may have, um, based on cost overruns, failures, shortages, anything like that. But also I have this Wordle chart, which shows me what typically my alerts are, and most of them are in schedule delay, but cost overrun and shutdown required are a close second and third. And again, as I scroll down, I can bring up all my work orders that have alerts, and this goes on for 37 pages. So I have quite a few work orders that have alerts that I need to address. But the advantage of this was I asked, the system showed me I had alerts. I didn't have to come in and say, what work orders have alerts, or search for an individual work order to determine if it had an alert. So the system had worked for me in this instance. I also am switching gears a little bit, and now I'm looking at failures on the work order um, dashboard. And I see that I have 2 major failure codes here, vibration and noise. These are user-defined codes that have been reported in the system. I can also expand that to see what type of noise or failure codes that I may have, and I have a bunch that are also associated with this instance. I'm going to go into my cost overrun metric here to see what is going on. And I can see the type of work orders that are causing cost overruns, but also their status. And I still have my work order screen right at my fingertips below. And if I look at work order estimate um, details, and I have a bunch of unreleased work orders, which are very old, and I can see their estimated versus standard cost that you expect to see, and I can drill into these work orders. I can also look at any work requests that I may have, and I have a couple work requests here that I need to assign to a work order, and I can take action on that from this screen. So the enterprise command centers are more than just dashboards. They're also tools that enable me to actually access the data in the system, but also take action on things that are actionable. And again, you can customize this or personalize this to suit your needs. I'm switching gears and going to the materials dashboard now, and I see that I have 36 materials with alerts, and I see my alerts by work order type, but also my availability of material by my individual organizations. Again, I made a refinement on here where I only want to look at this particular organization, and then I'm looking at material alert type by work order types, and also availability by this organization too. As I scroll down, I can pull up those work orders that have actual shortages associated with them. And I can take action on this, and I have selected this work order where it says I need to get a generator axle blower. I need one to issue to this work order, and obviously I don't have it in inventory, so let's move on. I drill into the work order, and I see that I can purchase the materials associated with this. So I select the operation, I select purchase materials, and it's going to bring me to iProcurement. I don't know which supplier to use, so I'm going to let purchasing make that determination on here. And I've gone in and I'm creating a requisition. So I need this particular item, and I've selected the quantity, and I've guessed the price associated with this. And now I'm going to add it to my shopping cart and check out. And I have my shopping cart here. And much like Amazon, I am just going to approve my shopping cart. And this is the requisition that has been created for me. Now I want to return back to eAM in that actual work order. And in so doing, I bring up the costing screen, and I see that the item has been added with the requisition number. I could have generated a PO, but I elected to go through a requisition number and have purchasing pick the vendor and then translate that into a purchase order. but pretty quickly from an enterprise command center dashboard, I went into the work order, purchased the materials that I needed. That is my overview of the Enterprise Command Center for Enterprise Asset Management, and I hope that answers some questions and gives you some information. Thank you.